Beautiful people, welcome. Episode 53, I believe. I think it's 53. That's weird that I just had it in my head, and once we hit play, I'm lost. But the 1 year anniversary, the 1 year mark of the podcast, we made it. And I have the official wife of the show. Welcome back, Lindsay.
Hello, everyone.
It's good to have you.
It's good to be here.
Oh man, I was thinking before I started, I hate iced coffee, but when my coffee goes cold, I still drink it. Ugh. It's fucked up, but it's the same shit. But don't say
okay,
ugh,
but
because you like iced coffee.
I drink iced coffee, but I'm not gonna drink cold hot coffee.
Okay, first of all,
I'm telling you,
a lot just happened right now. It's not cold hot coffee. It's cold.
But it was previously hot coffee. If hot coffee gets cold, I'm not gonna drink it. But I love iced coffee. It's different.
And I think that's why I brought that up, because I don't drink iced coffee. You can't pay me. But if this shit go cold, I drink it. Same thing with tea.
Yuck.
But that's another story for another day. Here we are on the official marriage episode of the podcast. And I don't even know. Where should we start? With the good stuff?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. For those of you who don't know, I was gonna go off into some other shit, but I won't even do it. Every time I get around you, I start acting stupid. I recently had a spread. Where is this fucking thing? In the New York Post here. You can't get it. This is an official collector's item now. Wow, it's opened up right into it. For the YouTube listeners, don't worry, or YouTube viewers, if you can see that, don't worry, you're not missing out. This is it'll be in the episode description. You can go click on that, check it out online. Make sure you share that with someone you think might be cheating. I don't know, but the whole purpose of this episode, of this article, was about caught in the app. Smartphones have made it convenient when you want to find out if your partner's cheating, if they're cheating, if you suspect them of cheating. And the reason I was there is because they needed a seasoned vet to really break shit down. And I was like, I got you, my G. No problem at all. So I did what I did. I gave some stories and told some background bullshit. I kind of looked at it like snitching. I'm like, damn, like it was like, so like, what do you think is good for people to get caught? You know, people to catch their significant other cheating. I'm like, oh, where you want to start? You know what I'm saying? And then I was thinking, I'm like, and big shout out to Christian, the writer on this. I think he actually did a phenomenal job. And they have like Uber, Venmo, Instagram, Find My Friends, and all the way that technology will get your ass busted. And,
I don't know why they didn't mention Facebook. I guess Facebook is phasing out.
But that's like the obvious shit.
Right.
Like if you're gonna delete your Facebook messages, and
I forget people want to like really get into it, like really check out the ins and the outs of people's lives, like
sure,
really check them out.
That was actually the first time I got busted. I guess cheating. It was on Facebook. I didn't want Facebook for that reason. I was like, I don't know about that. I was like, what is this? Like, what you mean? Like, so everybody can see this at the same time, right here? Like, I'm like, that's tricky. But I did it anyway. And I don't know, probably the first week, this chick wrote on my wall. I don't know what she wrote, but by the time I saw it, it was already too late, and I was like, oh that's out. And that's one thing with me, and that's why I was okay with doing the article, because that's one thing with me that I'm like, if I get caught, it's no swindling your way out of that, because I'm not a cheater, fine. A liar, like, nah. When you catch me, I'm like, you got that. But not, and it's not like a proud moment. It's not something that.
Well, it's not. You didn't even say anything bad. I mean.
No, but that's the thing. It's all facts. Like It's all, like it happened. It's not like it wasn't.
Right.
It's not like it's not real. But I don't know. I in a couple of my my friends were talking to me. They're like, yo, like, I would have never did no shit like that. Like, I can't believe you did that. And I was like, why not? Like that's like a confession almost. And I'm like, to who? It's actual. And I was like, I just 444'd myself. That's all. Like, when you tell a real story, if somebody's hurt behind it, like, I could see if me and you had never, if you didn't know my past or know me,
right,
this would have been some crazy shit.
Yeah.
You would have opened it up like, huh? Like,
but that's the problem with most relationships. They go into it lying. So I think the people that said, like, I would have never done that, they don't come into it honestly in the first place. So then they have lies to cover up with other lies, and then they can't be truthful with anything. That wasn't a big deal.
I think that's also a part of it. That
except for it was a big deal because you were in the paper.
I thought, I'm like, this is ill. If you ask me, I don't give a fuck what they said. No, but I think that's a part of it. That people have like those little secrets, that 1% that you hold from a person you're with, eventually adds up.
Yeah. Like
one little thing when you said you went left, but you really went right. You kind of got to hold on to that forever.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of sets people back. And when you hear like the fucking thing that stands out on this page is like cheating and tweeting.
Yep.
Right.
That's
so
what people say.
That's people catch that like, no, and it's like, yo, cheat. What do you define as cheating? You know what I'm saying? If you're talking to a chick on or in somebody's DMs on Twitter, obviously that's cheating. But like when your coworker walks past you and you're like, damn, that's a nice, you smell great. Like, that's a nice dress you got on. And you leave it there. Right, it's not right. If you leave it there, it's like borderline.
Right.
But people, and it's not always just like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you know what you're doing this week. Like, people know when they push the lines with their coworkers. That shit is more cheating to me. And
it's here.
Right, it's directly affected.
Every day you have a relationship with that person.
We had a couple technical difficulties. I was saying that people's perspective is different, and I wanted to show that, because when you think you wouldn't, like, oh, I'd never cheat on my wife, or I'd never cheat on my husband, and like the little things you think is not cheating, maybe if you went home and told everything you did that day, I don't think your husband or your wife or whoever would be thrilled. Like, so people. Sure, you didn't fucking text them on an app, like I said, but if you did some shit that you go home and you can't tell the exact story to whoever you live with, you tell me who's wrong, who's the bad guy, and who's not. You know what I'm saying? And with I was gonna say before our fucking Apple was playing these fucking iCloud games, that if you personally, if you were not you. Because
you people,
yeah, everybody else, definitely not you. if someone was texting their DMing somebody in fucking Texas, and you got caught, they'd be like, "Come on, man, you violated. You know you violated, and that's gonna be an argument or some shit." Right. But if you look through your significant other's phone and they're talking to a coworker. Not you, right? This goes for the YouTube subscribers. I'm talking to you motherfuckers. I'm not talking to her. I'm talking to you. If you look and see you've been talking to a coworker, I feel like that's devastating. I personally, that'd be way worse.
Yeah, because what else have they done? What else have they talked about? What else have they shared?
And it's not. And also the weird thing of it was that people were like, "Wow, that must have been tough tough for your wife to see." And I was like, shit, she read it before I did. Like, nah, she posted the shit on the gram before I did. It's not. I think that's what gives us an interesting dynamic. And not that I'm some serial cheater and I'm out there just fucking bitches going crazy.
And I'm just letting it happen.
And she's just like, all right, do you? Good job. You're doing a great thing, Bo. This podcast thing is taking off. Like, I don't mean it that way, but I think it gives us an interesting dynamic that we're so open and honest with each other.
Right. And we're from the get-go.
Yeah,
that was important.
And that was, I really wanted that when I first met you. Like, that's why this article when he asked, like, to be a part of it, like, oh yeah, I'll probably be one of your best examples. Like a relationship expert,
Right.
no problem. Because like to me, a relationship expert isn't some person with a fucking degree who went to 9 different schools and
No.
studied relationships and did all these fucking trials. Are they qualified to speak on it? Sure.
Right. Do they have some good tips?
Do they have
Sure.
some great tips and great advice and things that I could learn from them? 100%. Absolutely. But I've been in relationships since 5th grade. I'm gonna be 30. I feel like I'm qualified to tell you. And if my shit ain't been like walks in the park, so it's
Right.
like to really learn, you had to fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I don't study other people's fuck ups. I know my personal fuck ups. I know. No, I'm being dead serious. I know my personal things that I've improved on. So when I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. You know. So and every relationship I've been in, there was always like some secret with me. There was always some shit. And when I met you, I knew that I was like, it's time to start fresh. Because you get a very slim window for a fresh start. You get a secret for about, and not even a secret. You get the opportunity to tell, I'd say like a month, no, 2 months. Like if you get to a certain point, at that point, you holding something back, like, cause it's gonna come up when you're that. I guess even that, I'll give it like that 3-month window.
Right.
And I had.
But you can't even wait that long. That's too long.
I think that's long. And I actually, the Sag was talking about it on one of our episodes. I forget. And we were talking about like meeting people and being in a relationship. And the 2 other people we were with, they were like, "Oh, you know, in like a year things get serious." I'm like, "A year?"
Oh yeah,
I remember.
Right.
I don't even know if I'm gonna talk to you in a year. Like all my shit is out in 6 weeks.
You have to, otherwise, like you finding out who the real person is a year later, like that's not okay. That's where your relationship goes south because you're dating someone else at that
Right.
point.
And I think we got into it because I was like, what is the appropriate time to move in with each other? And I was like, oh, 6 weeks. And they were like, 6. That's crazy. And I was like, what's crazy about 6 weeks? Like, in 6 weeks, we might have fucked. So, I mean, if 6 weeks and we didn't, we might got an issue. Let me tell you that right now. But in 6 weeks, if you give enough to that person, like, what you waiting for?
Right.
You know, I'm afraid
Take
of
it
what my
slow.
family's going to think.
But I feel like if you don't want to, like if you don't want to move forward with somebody in 6 weeks, I'm not saying you should with everybody in 6 weeks, but if you don't already know, don't. If you are already like, I don't know, I should probably take my time, like then maybe
you know,
you
right,
shouldn't.
right. Then
Maybe you should just go somewhere else because you should want to take that next step. If they're, I mean, like especially 6 weeks in, it should be all good stuff.
Well,
if
like,
there's bad stuff already,
right, 6 weeks is soon for the average person. So that's why I use the 3-month like grace period, right? So in 3 months,
but
it's not normal to be going through shit.
No,
it's not normal to be on like that road, like, you know, your phone rings, you're like, hey, how you doing?
but
like,
that's because I feel like people aren't honest. So then, like, as you know, it's really quick in the relationship, but stuff starts coming out that the person didn't lead with. Like, you know, we had some things to tell each other right off the bat. We told it, and then it was just downhill from there. You know, like we didn't have anything like
uphill.
Oh yeah,
or I guess it is downhill.
It's downhill because it's fast and easy.
Downhill sounds like
Uphill
oh
is hard.
shit. Okay, you're right.
Remember, hiking uphill was really bad for me. Down was
right.
much easier.
See, for you, like up. That's the easy part. Down is when things get messy. Like on a roller coaster when you're like, and you're going up, like it's like, all right, here we go. When we're going down, it's over. Like,
and I'm thinking of hiking.
right. See, but that's communication, I guess. You know. So, in the beginning, the 3-month period, things are supposed to be smooth. We'll say smooth.
But if you're lying to your partner, then
that's what
stuff's coming out.
Right there, but that's what I mean. I don't want to say lying because people
Hold
then they
back.
turn a blind eye or cover their ears to it. Like, oh well, no, I've never lied to you one time. But if you go back and look at the other end of it, like, what didn't you say?
Right.
That's just like that. I think that opens people's eyes.
By the way,
like,
I'm
oh, I don't
medicated for bipolar disorder or something.
Yeah,
that
some
is a
crazy
big
shit.
deal.
Sure.
That's a big deal that you should
I guess that was a
lead
bad
with.
no pun with some.
I mean,
crazy
no
shit.
offense, you know.
No, but that's valid.
But like,
because
that's a big
spoke to someone,
deal.
sure.
Like you can't just hit that on somebody.
If I was like, if I had like a, I don't want to offend the bipolar community. But if I had like a bipolar, I've never been diagnosed, but I might be I'm on the fence. I'm gonna tell you that shit right now. So if I was officially like diagnosed, I had my bipolar
Medicated,
certificate, and they gave it to me, and like, so I would have to tell you that. When?
I feel like
Immediately.
like within a week.
That wouldn't scare. I
Maybe
feel
a
like,
week or two. Maybe 2 weeks.
or like
It's
I'd say like encounters.
but not.
Like when do you say? Because 2 weeks could mean we could see each other every day.
But that's what I was
We
gonna
could see
say.
each other
If we're doing the
those 2
whole
Fridays.
like, I don't mean encounters, but at least talking on the phone, because you know, like situations are different now, especially the way the internet is. You know, so you may not see someone.
Sure.
But if you're not playing the whole like, oh, I have to wait 3 days to call him back or whatever, and you're actually communicating every day, and you want to communicate every day, I feel like you should be spilling your guts on who you are as a person. And you know, like, I think people are not themselves anywhere, and I think that transfers to relationships. You know, like, they're not themselves to anyone, so they don't know who to trust, so they feel like they can't tell a person that they're going to date because they don't know if it's going to continue. And they don't trust these people because they're not themselves in front of anyone. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, but there's the flip side of it. And I know I don't want to I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here, but I do understand why it's a certain window, because you can't, if you go out and do some shit on the front, like if on the first date I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I won't say bipolar, but I'll use me personally. If I told you on our first date, like, yeah, I have these crazy mood swings, like I don't know what happens to me, but at the fucking drop of a hat, I don't know, like I have moments where I'm like, nah, nobody talk to me. If I told you that, you'd be like, okay, I never want to see you again. No, because if I heard that shit, I'd be like, wait, you what? I'm like, how? Like once a week? Like how? I know I would be like, hold on, you're not gonna show up at my job, right? Like some crazy shit. So that's like, no, for real. So that's why people like hold things back, and I respect it. But now after,
but like, I feel like there's just be honest. Like I don't, and if it comes,
I guess be tactful.
Yeah,
Honest.
I mean, there's a time and a plate. You don't want to be like, hi, my name's Lindsay, and I have 17 kids, and, you know,
check please.
Manic. I'm manic depressive, and I've been known to stalk a few boyfriends in the past. Like, you know, if you led with that would be I mean, hopefully nobody has that.
It's hard to pull it out, but you know.
I don't know. You just have to be
now
honest
you kind of
and
know
be yourself.
When
own it.
I feel like I'm not, and I'm not gonna say my accuracy rate is 100%, but I can tell with certain conversations. It's not just women.
Yeah.
Like I could tell when people start talking about their ex who violated. Like if you start like, yeah, you know, and she came in, and then I was looking, and then she just wigged out, and I was like, what the fuck? Like the person playing the victim is usually the person who did some bullshit. Like it's not 100%.
Right.
But the first person to draw blood is usually, you know what I'm saying, the person that did some bullshit. Because like when you hear like on a first date, like, you know, like, oh, so why are you single? Like, well, my ex. And once that shit happens,
and that's like,
you kind of know, like, all right, this person's on some bullshit. Mm-hmm. Or like me, like why are you single? I'm like, and it's kind of personal, but even with us, like I was like, well, not really. Like I said, like the Facebook status shit, like it's complicated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was very clear early on.
Right.
Like, I don't know, I got issues.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you that shit right now. But I thought that was important.
Yeah.
Because normally, and like a couple, in my last life relationships ago, I remember being on the first date, like she was like, oh, so, you know, are you seeing anyone? I'm like, I don't know. Like every day is some new shit with me. And she was just like, oh. She didn't get up and leave. So I was just like, all right. Like, I put it out there. You know, so when my phone's blowing up at 3 a.m., like, on the front end, I'm like, look.
It's true.
No, but it was valid. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna leave my phone in the fucking car. I'm not gonna put my phone face down on the table when you see me. Like, so when the shit's blowing up, my wife texts me. This is always when when we're sitting right across from each other, still get a text message. But when
under the table,
when like if I get a call a week from now, don't think it was it has to be that window of like, look, women are still gonna get in contact with me for a certain period of time.
Right.
I'm not answering. I'm not texting them back. But just so we know, if this shit goes off, don't wig out in the morning. Because if I had said like, oh, I'm seeing someone, but it's not serious, and then 2 weeks later you get a text at 3 a.m. like, you up? Now you got to explain that backwards.
Right.
I'd rather and with you, I mean, I've always been that way somewhat, but with you I was always like front-ended, like, look, I'll tell you now, and I know it's gonna sound crazy, but one day this will make sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I learned that from like, I'll explain it later. Or like, it's hard to explain, so I just won't. And I knew that started bad trends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's another thing with that. When you get to those points where you feel like it's too many. Like that same conversation I was talking about with the Sag, we were talking about like going through a lot of shit. The other two people we were with, I saw them like we were talking to like, and I'm like, this is why some shit be dysfunction with you guys. Because if we're dysfunctional in the first fucking 90 days, if we get into an argument or you storm off or I feel like I can't fucking do this, it's over. We can't. Why? What are we working through on the front end? You know what I'm saying? So I think people get used to those toxic patterns, and they get used to like, you shouldn't be used to you're a guy unless those are you were open about it.
Right.
But if you're not cool with it, you shouldn't be used to constantly women around, or constantly a lingering thing, or constantly like coming home smelling like Beyonce Pulse, and that's not what you buy. Like, that shit shouldn't happen. I think people get used to like, oh, one day it'll change. Like I always say, a leopard don't change its spots unless well, it doesn't change its spots, but you know what I mean. Like it has to be communication. It has to be balance, and it has to be a truth to yourself.
Right.
And that's why I've always been good with it. Like on the front end, like I know, like it's probably not gonna work.
Right. And you shouldn't. It's hard to say because we happened like fast in most people's eyes, but like
fuck them.
I know, but I'm just saying, like most people. I don't know. I just feel like.
I think because we put a lot of honesty on the table.
Yeah, but we communicated a ton, like a lot.
True.
More than normal people.
I was gonna say on your end because you fucking text me all day, but I didn't want to. But not in a bad way.
You FaceTime me when I lived in Florida.
We lived on the other side of the country. Like,
okay, well, that's what I assumed. Like, I don't expect you to FaceTime me all the time now, but I'm just saying, like, that's how we started.
And I used that example before, like if you were texting someone. That's why I say not you, because if you're texting some other people, if you were texting someone in fucking Texas, you're in Texas. What you gonna do? You're one person's in New York, other person's in California. Fuck you gonna do? Minimum is 9 hours before anything could happen if you got on the first flight. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot there. But when we first met, like I'm like, oh shit, I fly down tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because to me it was like, you're gonna go on we would go on an ill date anyway. So the flight is just part of it. Like if you lived in Jersey, I would have drove 2 hours. If you lived but you lived in Florida, 2-hour flight is the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So with other people, I think, with other people, it may be like those barriers, but that was like that same communication. Like I want to show you that I'm willing to do these things. Like I'm willing to, and I had a rule. Like I had a radius. Did I tell you that? I don't know. Oh, I did. I don't know. I didn't remember, but I was really like you live in Huntington. No. 40, you want me to get on the expressway? It's crazy. What do you think this is? Like, what do I look like? But that was because that like in our communication, like when I'd FaceTime you in the 5 o'clock in the fucking morning, it was that like It wasn't gonna. I don't know. It was just open. It was just cool. It was at that point.
It should be that
when you're talking at 5 a.m. and 11:00 at night, you basically almost live together anyway. If it's been all day. But I think with other like past relationships, the reason I didn't want to drive out to Huntington is because it didn't seem worth it. Like if those hey, what you doing? Nothing. And then like a 2-hour window, like thinking about you. Heart emoji. Like that shit is like, what am I driving out there for? You know what I'm saying?
It's
so
nothing.
I think the early phases and the early steps and the early things people take is really what makes a relationship strong, when you can, and you don't have to worry about like, I don't do things like I'm pretty open on this podcast. I don't do things like, oh fuck, my wife can't hear that, we gotta edit that out. I don't make it. I come home and tell you like, I hope they don't mind, but that's staying in because it affects the whole conversation. No edits, no games, no gimmicks. I don't think, like, sometimes I'm like when I say, did I tell you that? And sometimes when I just say shit, I'm like, yeah, did I tell that already? Like, I hope so. Like, but it's not like, oh fuck, what's she gonna think? Right. You know, and I think that it makes it easier to just be free and be yourself, and then I get to know myself better if I don't have to constantly worry about what you're going to think and what you're going to say, and are we going to argue about this, and is she going to understand why I feel this way, or just some bullshit. So it allows me to grow as a person and really understand myself if I don't have to worry about what you'll think of me doing a fucking New York Post article about cheating. Like, you were like, and that's why I think it just happened. I didn't plan it this way, but it's appropriate that we're on the 1 year episode together, because it's like you are my number one supporter, and I appreciate that. And I don't think I could have that if I couldn't be totally true to the game. You know what I'm saying? Because you on a podcast, you can't lie in your reps. Yeah. I don't know what other podcasts do, but I wouldn't feel comfortable. I would never lie in my raps. Right. So, you know, it allows me to be great, and you know, here we are together, making a thing of this. But we touched on something before that I wanted to talk about, because Chris Rock made a good point in his Netflix special. You know, he got caught cheating, and he made a point to be like, you know, when his parents were growing up, it wasn't that constant communication. You saw
each other in the morning and then in the evening.
10 hours went by, saw each other at 6 o'clock at night for dinner. You chilled. I'm not saying slept in bed, separate beds. Now, I love Lucy, but your life was just like, it was together, apart, majority together, sleep. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? I think
actually missed someone. Right. Is what he was saying.
Right. And I think that that's what makes relationships hard, almost. But it also can be your best friend. Yeah. Because in the article, you know, and I like that he quoted. It's weird for me to read it myself, but I'm gonna do it. Former Playboy. I think that's ill. I was like, nice touch, my man. I'm like, man, yeah, I'll fuck with you, Christian. But he was like, Bo McCrimmon Jr. says, technology has made it easier than ever to have an affair, and easier to get caught, and even easier to get caught. I think as far as a relationship, I think it's easier than ever to communicate, and also easier than ever for it all to get fucked up. Right. Because like if you're texting all day, that could be a good thing. Like if you're communication in that
is important.
Is important. I definitely agree with that. So if you use it to your advantage, I think couples can really benefit from it, because sometimes you don't, and it's not the same through on the if you're together and you see fireworks, it's amazing. Right. If you send me a video like, look, fireworks, it's never gonna be the same. Like it's not. I'll be like, all right, it's like cool. Yeah. But you know how fireworks look on the phone, like this shit. The dynamic is just different. But as far as like just a simple, hey, I'm thinking about you. Right. I think that's big in a relationship. When now in today's technology, when you go 8 hours without seeing each other, it's like, did you die? Like, what? Right. What happened today that we didn't communicate? Do you work in a fucking coal mine? What happened that you didn't constantly communicate with each other? So I think if we can also, it doesn't have to be just.
And people
cheating.
Need it nowadays, because I mean, not everybody, but like if if you're with somebody and you guys communicate through text, you know, like, you should communicate. Like, it's important. Like, some people need it more than others.
Yeah.
You know, like, maybe even the one that texts the most needs it the most, you know?
That makes sense. You trying to tell me something?
No.
That sounded very direct. Or it could be the guilt of the former Playboy line.
It was just about myself.
Okay, copy. But, like, I also, the flip side of it, that constant, like, this isn't me trying to tell you something. That constant beating. Like, hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? The same shit I was doing 20 minutes ago. What you mean? I think that could be like, it could really make or break you. Like,
yeah.
Hey,
don't be annoying.
Because I made a joke about it that I put on the gram. Like, my wife asked me what I'm doing or some shit.
How my day was.
Yeah, how my day was, and I'm like, we talked all day, but not
about it as it happened.
And a lot of women on Twitter were like, "We just want to know, geez." And
one, we just love you.
Yeah, like, we just love you. Gosh, sorry for asking. And one girl was like, "Damn, I know I gotta stop texting my husband so much." I'm like, no, don't. I'm like, we appreciate it, but it's just very interesting to me. Like, you get home and it's like,
we had this conversation.
Like, nah, I know goddamn well I sent you this much blue in our text thread. And explain this shit, but you know what? I'll say it again. I also think that's a interesting dynamic. And he also talked about cheating and fucking women on the road. Like, do you think? And I also brought it up because we have the other end of it. Like, do you think it would be hard for you if I was like on tour or some shit? Like,
hard for me how?
I'm saying, like, I know we'd be in constant communication, obviously. No, I'm glad there's YouTube now. So people can see the look you made, like, you goddamn right.
What do you think this is?
Fuck, you think you gonna be 100 meters away and we don't FaceTime, mother? But, I say it's different because I would like to have you on my world tour. Like, when I go take my podcast tour, I want you to come with me. Because and also the realistic factor is, like, even if Chris Rock was an amazing husband, I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad husband. Even if he was like a choir boy husband,
okay,
it's not just Chris Rock. It's not just the megastar, or it's the guy who just minds his business and he's a travel salesman, and enough hotel rooms go like after enough of that shit, he might. It's not like. When you hear this shit, you think Chris Rock, you think NBA players, you think actors.
It can happen to anybody.
It can happen to anybody. It could be a guy who works for fucking
and
Enterprise.
There are women out there who are preying on men like that, too.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like they're waiting in the hotel room lobby?
Yeah.
Like who, Backpage bitches or like regular women?
Like regular women.
I didn't realize
women
that.
are really nasty creatures.
You know what's funny? You bring that up. I remember. I'm not getting past that either. Women being nasty creatures, because I agree. The chick on the cruise. We're on the cruise, and I went up, and we were together, so it was like we both caught it. But it was just some chick. She didn't have no panties on. She was just bent over the. You don't remember that shit?
About that, yeah.
I didn't forget about that. I mean, I think
I purposely blocked it.
But I thought I don't forget it because I'm like, damn, my wife was with me. But that's as a man, that's some shit. It was, so she was just bent over all across on the ledge, and obviously you could tell she had no panties on. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
you know, it's like I really looked back, like you were a couple steps behind. I looked back, like, now if I was by myself, like that shit would be, that's a weird moment, like, cause you could be, I don't know, like some weird shit could happen in that moment with a vulnerable man. Not me. I mean,
right.
Like I have a decorated history as a cheater, but. That's not some like that. That's not some shit. But the article paints me in a light. Somebody got to play the Joker. I just rode with it. Like, all right, so be it. But
That was some crazy shit. And
No,
but I think I blocked that because it I was like, yeah, she
I
probably
even
was
thought that was
standing
crazy.
out
Like,
there.
right. Look, I thought she was on the prowl. She was looking.
Yep.
She's looking for something. She's looking to get slayed.
Yeah.
So that's what I looked at it like even in my worst days.
She may have had a husband in the cabin too.
That's why it's tricky because even on my worst days, that's not a woman I would talk to. Like that's not the type of woman I'd be into to be like, oh shit, all right.
But there are a lot of men out there.
But there's a lot of men out there that would be their one opportunity.
Yeah.
That would be there. See that, and that's why I say I make a joke out of it and say decorated history as a cheater because at that moment I'm not the one you got to worry about. You got to worry about the motherfucker that doesn't he's never in those situations. Right. He hasn't even been in an elevator with a woman in a long time, and when he sees like, that, if she says hello in the right way, having a dick is a lot of pressure. Like sometimes that shit thinks for you. Sometimes that shit jumps up on your shoulder like, do it, my G. Trust me, this is happening for a reason, you know, and you start to justify it like, maybe my dick is right. Maybe I should do this. You know what I'm saying? So, at those moments is really a defining. No, I'm being serious. Like that's like it's because it's a defining moment in some relationships that. From there, like what happens? Like Chris Rock, I don't think he went into it. But obviously he got divorced. Like obviously it didn't go too well. Right. But then I look at guys like Hov. He admitted he cheated on 444 and they
So in a song he admitted it, right?
But
he didn't ever like say it.
That's the thing, like he says like I apologize. I don't wanna I was gonna see
they'll take you off.
That's what I was gonna say. Hov will have your whole podcast shut down, fucking around. So I'm kind of nervous.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But it's the same as like if you said it in a podcast. I'm sure he.
I guess.
You know, like.
But I feel like if it's such a, I don't know. I feel like there would have been an article about it if it actually.
No. He goes into it. He says it, but.
Are you really gonna play this?
Fuck it. What's it gonna do? I'm looking for a title deal anyway.
What?
Okay, I don't know what the hell this is.
Well, yeah, what the... Oh, I hate this song. That's why I never listened to it. That stuff in the background, I can't stand that extra noise.
That's what makes it... She's talking about the guru beat right now.
No, I don't... It's distracting.
See, that's what... He's going into it like... That's all I could give you, but you guys know the fucking song.
Okay.
It was his way of like, obviously, it's like we talked about earlier. Like, obviously his wife knew.
Right,
obviously they were past it if he could make. They're going on tour together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like there are times where they could. I mean, women that you're able to get past it.
Yeah.
And people they may not understand it because it's not, that shit is not for everybody. I would say. I wouldn't even imagine, even if you're never in the situation, it's not for everybody. But
certain relationships can go through a lot though and come out on top.
And still be healthy? Do you think it's ever the same?
That I don't know. I think cheating is like a whole, like actual cheating is like a whole nother level of like disrepair, I guess. You know? Like that hurts bad. Like, and I don't know if it ever, I mean, maybe, but I don't know if I could get through that.
I mean, for $800 million, you probably no. I believe you actually.
Money, you know, like,
no. But I think that's also why
like
it may work. It's no like I need you. You don't find out who a person is until you both get some paper.
Yeah, and I mean, the situation is maybe, you know, like I know somebody who they both cheated and they got through it.
Who cheated first?
I think she did.
She did. I think it's...
It was like both opposite ends of the spectrum, and like how each of them told. Actually, one of them doesn't know.
Oh.
But like...
That's... I don't want that kind of pressure on the podcast. I think when a woman cheats, that's crazy. And I get it. I've accepted myself being a male chauvinist or whatever fucking label that people want to give those things. Like,
but I feel like cheating happens when a relationship starts to split. You know, like
the for a woman.
For a man too. Men look for things too. You just look for for like. It depends on the man, but like, you know, stereotypically the man looks for sex, and if he's not getting it, if the woman's like, no, I'm not giving it to you because I'm mad at you, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go get some then, you know, and so she's talking to other people, and then you just split more and more.
That's why I say like with.
But it's like so maybe they were just like splitting apart and it happened, and she's like, you know what, it's kind of my fault too, you know, like there's something that happens before that happens, unless you're just not supposed to be together, you know what I mean? Like there are some people that are together that shouldn't be together, you know.
Sure.
A lot of people that shouldn't be together that are forcing it.
I was gonna get into it before when I talked about like when people are saying what they don't do, what they'd never do to their significant other, and I think there's a lot of examples where people after a certain window, like when I talked about the episode also, after a certain, like how I know in 6 weeks or 3 months or 6 months or a year, and it doesn't, and things don't have to be squeaky clean, doesn't have to be perfect,
right?
But you just know after a certain time, other people when they get to those points, but then at the same token with that, at 5 years. I'd be like after 5 years of, I mean, like at the 5 year point, if things were all great, if it goes all bad, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like when you say you can't get past something, that means you know you have a limit, you have a tolerance. That if cheating happened and you couldn't get over it, you leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people after 5 years, if cheating happens, they're like, you know, we have 5 years together or 20 years. Yeah. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But it could be like, well,
but it's over still, but you're still staying.
Right. But it's over.
That's not healthy. Yeah. No.
Or if they cheated at 5 years, the 5 year point, but they stayed together, and now they're together for 15 years. Like those last 10 years, you've just been together.
Right.
But you weren't, I mean, you've just been married, but you weren't together. That makes sense. Because you could still, I think it may be a quote. Because I heard it somewhere before, but I just keep it in my mind that you could be in the same room with someone and still be alone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You could still, like even if we did this.
Live separate lives and be married to each other.
Sure.
A lot of people do.
Yeah. So
and some people say that's how they stay married, which is, you know, like.
What do you think about the like when I mentioned I Love Lucy sleeping in separate beds? Like, what do you think about that? I think that's crazy. First of all, I'm too horny for that. I would be like, yo, can we push these together? Like, what's up? You really? I know it's a twin, but come on now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how you could do that even.
Well, I get you up off the couch when you fall asleep on the couch, so I don't.
I mean,
it's personal, but I'm not sleeping without you. Like, I don't like it. I'm not. If I don't want to sleep with you, then I don't want to be with you. Like, I don't get it. I mean, to each his own, but like, I don't understand that because that splits your life.
I agree. I was gonna go into no, like. When you're like, are you coming to bed? But I didn't want to get. I'd be like, to go to sleep. Like, I wasn't gonna bring it up, but it actually is pretty funny. Yeah. That is, but I think it's not like annoying.
Like,
it's not
up.
Like like I'm like wake
up,
go to bed. You want me to wake up? You woke me up to tell me to come to sleep. That's some shit, you know, and it is hilarious. So I'm glad I said it now.
It's funny that my dad did that because that's exactly what I do to you now. I'm my mother. I'm basically my mother.
It's a good side to your mother, though. And most people, I'm not kidding, and that's why I think this is totally appropriate to have you on. I wouldn't even want to have this conversation with anybody else. You're the first mother-in-law like I really liked. Like, yeah. I mean, I liked people's moms. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you know, it's like our distance. Like I only see you fucking 3 times a year anyway. It don't make me no fucking difference. But like your mom is very like I like her, and when sometimes in other relationships or people's lives, you're like, you see the parents and you're like, oh shit, if she turns out this way, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
But I see your mom and I'm like, all right, as long as we don't go vegan, we straight. But big shout out to Red Donna. I love you.
Red Donna Vegan.
Red Donna Vegan 17. Pardon me. I love you. And I'll eat couscous with you anytime. I forget where I was even going with that. But sleeping in separate beds.
Yeah.
Like I think that like living separate lives, like vacationing together. A friend of mine, his parents spend the winter apart, and I used to think that was genius. I used to be like, wow, that's cool. Like you get to reset, you get to shake your shit off, and you get back together. And but that's like, I think that's like long term. You got to be together after a while, because I don't know if I like spend 3 months. But that shit would get wet. It would be trash after 3 days. Like I'd be like, "Yo, what you doing?"
You know what? I feel like those are people that just are faking it through their marriage, and they need a break from them. You know, like I don't need a break from you.
That makes sense. I mean,
like I'm a little happy sometimes. I'm like, I can order sushi when you're doing your podcast or whatever.
Sure.
But like that's the most I want you to come to bed that night.
Yeah, and I respect that, because like I know even myself, like, and it's not like, oh, but like when you're not in the car, then I can blast the music
and open the sunroof
because you don't like the sunroof open, you get kind of chilly. Even though we got the dual climate shit, you still get cold, and I love you, so I close the sunroof. But I do understand those little moments. But that's a moment. That's a car ride or a fucking I can't eat shellfish. A meal. Like I get it. So I understand that.
3 months.
Right. But like even 3 days would be kind of trash. Like I'd be like, all right, now this is enough's enough. But and I was just gonna say something. Oh yeah, but like even sleeping alone, I never liked sleeping alone. Period, though. And I think that's actually what got me into a lot of trouble being being apart from other women. Like I lived in a bungalow, a nice little mind my business right in my bungalow. It was really trash to me to sleep alone if I didn't have to, if that makes sense. And at the time, I don't know if I chalk it up to being a weak man, being irresponsible, being immature. I don't know what I chalk it up to, but I was dead ass like, I'm not sleeping alone. This is trash. So if it was like 11 o'clock and I'd be like, yo, you coming through? Like, nah, I got work tomorrow early and I don't want to get up. Like see, we live together.
Right.
So and you can make a joke out of it. It's funny, but I would really, if I lived alone. So if you wherever at your fucking wherever they were in the world,
right?
And I'm like, yo, what you doing? Why don't you come through? And like, no, it means like you don't want to be here, because I know. But there are certain nights you would have got up out of your sleep to come and sleep with me. Like they were like. How I'm like, the room is right there.
Right.
They're like, what, you want me to get up and go to? You want me to get out of bed to come sleep there? Like, that's crazy. And I thought it was crazy that they didn't want to. So me, I was just like, nah, bitch, I'm not sleeping alone. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Somebody gonna be here, and I gave you the first opportunity. I'm not saying it was right.
Right.
But I was really like, nah, there's like, I don't have to sleep alone. Like,
and a lot of women are like that. They can't be alone. And that's what gets them into relationships. And that's why they stay in relationships they shouldn't be in either. They just can't, maybe not sleep alone, but like be alone. Like they have to have somebody.
I won't even chalk it up to just women. You know that? I think a lot of men they won't admit it.
Okay.
Besides me and Drake, they won't admit, like, no, I'm being dead ass. Like a lot of men are like, because it's not just women, I think. Because I had to dig my whole life. I'm a man. Like, and I feel the same way, though. Like, why would you want to be alone? That's crazy. Like I said, I've been in relationships my whole life. Why would you want to be alone? On purpose?
Right.
Nobody's broke my heart that bad yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when people at a certain age, they want to be alone. Like, when I see 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds that want to be alone, I'm like, yo, I get it. You know what? Because if I'm 50 and this shit don't work out, I'm going to want to be alone too. You know what I'm saying? And there is nobody that's going to fucking... Because like, and you know, we're gonna die together. But if
the bar is set so high,
that's what I'm saying. That after being with you, and then it's hard to speak for the next 50 years of my life. But I see people that are alone, and I'm like, nah, I get it. Because after this, it's not gonna be too many people I want to spend a week in a house with, or even. And you know, my test is always a vacation.
Right.
it's hard for me to spend 5 days with a motherfucker I don't like. That's hard. So, you know, I do get why people would want to be alone, but as for now, like I know myself, the fuck you want to sleep alone for? That's trash. Right. But also going back to bouncing around a little bit and going back to cheating, I wanted to talk about DJ Envy. I wanted to get into his antics. So, you know, for our YouTube viewership, especially our subscribers, make sure you go and do that. Like I said, I'm working on my green screen. It's here. We're doing the deed. I'll be able to pull the clip up. But for now, bear with me, please. Thank you. I appreciate your patience. But DJ Envy cheated on his wife.
So that's
with
what
Erica Mena
was about.
Correct.
The stuff. Okay.
And
he's really ugly.
Hey, listen. That I don't know. But he still has his hairline though. But you gotta appreciate women. Gotta appreciate men with hairlines. I'm dead ass. You can't be
just because you have hair doesn't mean that you're good looking.
Hey, listen. I don't know, but he ain't got a.
There are a lot of men with hair that.
Understandable. I got you. I copy. I respect that. But he cheated on his wife, and he admitted to it on the. I actually remember when it happened. Like he admitted it with like a Love and Hip Hop chick, Erica Mena. He remembered. I mean, he confessed to it on the air, and like Charlamagne was making a joke, and he's like, "Yo, don't make a joke, bro." So I do actually realize that he's very sensitive about his wife.
He confessed before his wife or after?
No. He didn't confess to his wife on the radio. Pardon me.
Like,
right.
God.
No, because I want to make that clear for listeners also. And I'm glad you're out of the loop, so you'll help me explain it better. So he admitted just what was going on. Like I guess just in case before TMZ really reveals the story, you probably want to tell yourself. Yeah. So I get it in that public platform. That was probably a couple years ago. They've been together ever since. And he was on
him and the cheated.
Him and his wife.
Oh, okay. They stayed together.
They stayed together.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
And he was on The Real or some shit, one of these shows, and they were talking about their relationship. And here's the clip. One day. This is Deezus and Mero with their commentary.
I felt like a letdown. I felt like a failure. And, you know, like I was Rashawn at home, but in the streets I was DJ Envy. So
I want to pause it right there also.
So he's basically saying, like, women are throwing themselves at me. Like, what does that mean?
Well, like, that's why I wanted to pause it. Because I can't tell you exactly what that means, and I didn't get that from it.
Okay.
But my thing with that is like that's why that's what leads to cheating when you can't be yourself at home.
True.
Like if you're home and you want to be a savage and smack your wife on the ass, and she's like, oh, don't do that. But you wanna if a girl the first time a woman lets you smack her on the ass, and she like, you better stop. You're gonna be like, oh, they like this. So then you go home and you're a choir boy with your wife and you're like, oh, good morning, honey. And she's like, good morning. And you go out and you're like, what's up, bitch? And
yeah,
she's like, oh, I like when you call me that. You become a different kind of savage, and that only leads to more. That's why I say it's not what you're telling, it's what you're holding back that defines it with me.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So I didn't, and there's a little more to the clip. I didn't understand that portion of it because I'm all the time, and don't get me wrong, I'm not 100%. Like if I'm with 5 of my friends, like 5 men, I'm obviously gonna be. It's a little. My lingo is a little different.
Right.
There's a lot of.
Right.
But I'm not. My morals and principles are not gonna change when I go outside.
Do.
But if you lying to yourself and you lying to your wife, this is what the fuck it leads to.
Maybe
What?
I was gonna say, like, maybe she's like, you don't talk to me like that. You're blah blah blah, whatever his name is.
Before you start talking about his wife, because I whip the DJ Envy's ass. I'll definitely kick his ass. He's too light.
But I mean, like, what if she was the one saying, like, you know, like, you're not DJ Envy here, you know?
That's where I'm going with it. Okay. That's where I'm gonna. She said she didn't know DJ Envy.
Oh. So that's probably a conversation that.
And it was a situation. You know them DJ Envy check though. I don't know.
Right. So we'll get into that last part in a moment. But I think that's what gets him into these things. Like if you
fake.
Yeah, basically, if you when you're a different person, but it's that like maybe she was like, nah, I'm not going for none of that DJ Envy shit.
Right.
You're not DJ Envy here. You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe he just was different with her, so she's like, who the fuck is this person that you're trying to be now?
But it's like, well, let me finish the clip and then I guess we can explain more. Well, DJ, to give you a little backstory for the listeners who don't know, DJ Envy was not thrilled about that last my wife is with me for the check comment.
That was a joke, Envy, for real.
Although he is ugly, so.
All right. Envy will never do another joke about you.
I understood that, though.
What?
Because I've seen you are very protective.
Right, it's a two-part, like, two different segments I wanted to
Right.
get into that, but and I guess we could start with that first. Well, let me put a button on the DJ Envy shit. Like, right. So, they went on later in the interview to be like, yo, listen, his wife probably said something to him like, oh, because he said my wife thought it was disrespectful. So when I heard that, I'm not wrong. I could be wrong. I wasn't there, but I thought that she may have been like, you better say something to those motherfuckers, and that's why it came with that heat, because it's like, bro, you was on a show. You were on like television talking about how you cheated with your wife. Like that's the least. That was like the least of the problem. Like he said, oh, she with you with that check for that check though. Like that's all you took from that. Like bro,
not just that. Like, isn't that what they do? They
that's
like
what they
make
do.
fun of
But
videos.
Right.
Like,
that was my whole point on bringing it up.
That's their show.
But I think that the wife might have put a lot of pressure on him to go like, Rashawn, go say to them whatever the fuck his name was, whatever he said. Yeah. I think that's what he said. Go say to them. You know, like let them know I'm not with you for that money, and that's where that happened. But then the second shit I wanted to get to was I get it. Like it's certain shit I ain't going for. You can really say a lot of shit to me. I'm pretty anything kind of goes with me. But my wife off limits, my G. I don't give a fuck if it's my grandpa. Like I'd be like, yo, bro. All right, now, like, all right, cool it. You know what I'm saying? So I actually understood that.
Yeah.
That part of it, like. But I think like if it was me, I would have handled it a little bit different. Like what? So if in that situation, do you think you would have been like? I don't know. I feel like you wouldn't even have said anything. Like I feel like you wouldn't have.
It's like
wouldn't even
that.
have came up. It would have been like, oh well, it happened. Like the fuck.
Yeah. Like.
I mean, obviously, like with him for the check, like.
I'd
If
be
me
like,
and you know that, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
like, if me and you
been
together since 15,
right.
we're not gonna be in the house offended about it. Like, I don't care what.
No,
I don't think you could. I couldn't do a podcast.
Relationship, but clearly their relationship is not strong enough. But if our relationship is strong enough for that kind of stuff, like we don't. That's like what? You're really mad about that?
And I thought about some shit when I first heard that. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm not going for that. And if he was pissed about it, I'm not saying you got to slap them. Like it is show business. Like that. Right. That's a little bit different. And I brought it up because DJ Envy said he don't want nobody else talking about his wife. So I was like, oh, don't say nothing about that man's wife because the wrong tweet will have me drive up to Power 105. But I thought about I forget where we were, and he told a crazy story that it wasn't like that, but like. Oh no! When the guy cut you, like when the guy swerved he swerved into your lane, like just on some bullshit. Now you know, niggas.
He was like trying to get around me,
yeah.
And I didn't move out of his way.
And I'm sunk down in the seat, and I guess he didn't see me. I don't know what the fuck happened, but
he definitely didn't see you.
Then he saw me after, like, yo, bro, what's up with you, my G? Like I totally understood that, but when I thought about the flip side of it when we were in the casino. And where were we? Louisiana, Mississippi. That's what it was.
Was it? Yeah, it was Mississippi.
Yeah, it was Mississippi.
Yeah.
And this old creepy hick white boy was
God.
like, not even white boy, like an old white man. A white boy gives a specific picture, like an old creepy white man was like, I love your tattoos. And I looked at him like. And I looked at him and I'm like, oh, now we in Mississippi, Lens. Look, I'm gonna just eat this one. Like,
And you did.
Look, I love you and all that, but me defending you right now is these motherfuckers not stringing me up in Mississippi. Like, no, pal. You're on your... And I thought that was a weird moment. I'm like, yo, DJ Envy picked his spot. Like, I don't have picks. It was just a situation. We were in the middle of... I don't know. I just... Where we were just wasn't... We would... I don't know if I would have went... Well, I got no wins out of kicking his ass because it wouldn't have got any better. We wouldn't have got any closer after that. But in that situation... I was like, now if that's what you're defending with your wife, I don't know. I don't know their personal relationship, but I thought that was very like, it was a weird moment. I'm like, is this for the clicks? Like, is this for
right? Is
this for content?
Yeah,
because they mentioned it like, oh, it's good content, and I'm like, I don't do shit for content, bro. I just do it for the sake of the conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, it was a weird moment for me to.
Well, and then he walked off. Later.
I thought that was like, but see, I thought that was like all right, if you don't want to, I respected that. If you don't want to sit there, it's show business, and I think it's crazy. But at that point, you said your piece, and it made it make more sense to me that he walked off. Like, if he sat there, I would have really thought that was for content. But he's like, all right, I got nothing left to say. And he got up and walked out. And I'm like, that's valid. You said your piece. You wasn't thrilled about it. You guys aren't going to get into a fight. It's nothing. I'm not sitting here with you. Cool. And it was, I respected it.
That makes sense.
But I don't know, man.
I was just like, I thought they said they were cool, and then
I like that we're headed to 3 different phases of like the cheating. I wrote it out this way, but now I guess it's working itself out. And but actually, also back to Beyonce and Hov. Beyonce fans are mad at Hov, and I'm like, she's with him. Like they're like, oh, we want like there's just the On the Run tour 2 is coming, so they're having a different They're having a second tour, and people and Beyonce fans, the Beehive is like, yo, we don't want to see Jay-Z though. And I forget what they're gonna. They had like a chant ready. Oh, they're gonna bark, like to call him a dog. Like, so when he takes the stage, I guess women are like, the stage is a dog. And I was like, yo, you guys fuck around if you want to. Beyonce might walk off that stage over her husband.
Show. Absolutely.
Like, right. So defending your wife is one thing. Defending your husband is the same thing. Like, you think she gonna let some fans disrespect Hov and call him a dog when she's with him? They got to go home together.
Yeah. And
that was always my thing, and I not instilled that in you, but I made that very clear in you. Like, listen, no matter what happens in front of the world, we got to go home together.
Right.
So if we got some shit to work out, it don't have to happen on the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't have to happen at Thanksgiving. It don't have to happen there. It got to happen between us, because we're not putting on. We're not married to them.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. It's between us. So I thought that was. I'm like, I wonder. I was like, if they boo Hov, she should walk off the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she should be like, yo, y'all better chill the fuck out, or this shit's over. And I think they should still bark. And stand on there. They should stand on there, and I think she should walk out. And I think it'll balance the things out. Where I noticed the opinion of social media is like. Even not even social media. I don't want to even just say social media, because the opinion of this article was like, like, oh, I feel bad for Lindsay. Like,
for what?
Why? What the fuck you feel bad for?
Because he was in the paper, and there's a link directly to his podcast, and my business is promoted on a shirt in the picture. Like, those are all really big things.
That's how I'm like, wait, I don't get, like, for what? Like,
you're in the paper.
No, but even besides that, it's like,
there wasn't anything bad in it anyway. There was nothing bad in it. I didn't even understand what they were, like, confused about.
That's why I don't want to
blame
social media.
Anybody I told was like,
awesome.
That's awesome.
Because they don't.
That's amazing.
But I think also the factor is like, the people, they know me.
Right.
But it's a little bit of a different dynamic. Like, you're closer to people I know than I am to people you know.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
But still, none of my people were like, oh my God.
But it's the like we talk about your people and my people, and I think it's cool that like you got a Shelly, I got a Shelly. Like, it's really like a different dynamic. I think that's pretty awesome. We should have a lot of friends with the same names, so we could just talk shit about them and say good things about them, and nobody ever knows who's talking about who's talking about who. I think that'll be a good. We got to get more friends with common names, but it's weird that people also live for like the outside, and the outside tries to live for the inside. I think that's a different dynamic that we're gonna get into also, or we got into. But I wanted to talk about the greatest cheater of all time, Tiger Woods.
Greatest cheater of all time?
Yeah.
How?
Because we're gonna see him overcome it. I know that sounds fucked up, but like I remember that Thanksgiving when Tiger fucking backed his Escalade, whatever that shit was, into
Didn't she hit a
into an
golf
oak tree.
club too? Oh, she threw a golf club at it.
See, I think that came out. I'm trying to think of the window. That shit had to be like 2009 at this point. This was a very long time ago. But I think that I want to get it right. Like we didn't know that she threw the golf club. Like at the initial report was just he crashed his car leaving his crib.
Okay.
And whatever happened, and I think it came out like a couple of days after, like she actually chased him out with a golf club, like get the fuck out of here, because he was being a bozo, and he's like left a voicemail like, "Hey, it's Tiger." Like, nigga, she know it's you. What the fuck you gotta say? Hey, it's Tiger. What other fucking Tiger would be calling? But that's another story.
I would have chased your ass out of the house with a fucking golf club.
That's what makes him like one of the worst cheaters of all time. The same token, and be like, bro, how many tigers are there in the world? Like,
none.
There ain't even that many tigers left in the actual wild. It's only one tiger. Like, it's only one motherfucker named Tiger, but whatever. But what makes him... So he backed out of his driveway. He crashed. And, you know, make a long story short, she took half his shit. Fell out of the fucking... He was playing like shit in the Masters.
Shit.
He back surgery, fucking 6 back surgeries at this point.
I didn't know he had back surgeries.
Like 6 of them. Like he ain't been the same since that shit happened, right? And I actually saw Tiger Woods' career hit fucking rock bottom. Then he got arrested.
That's right.
He was on fucking Zans and lean. He was taking Molly and Percocet, listening to Future at the same time, and fell asleep standing up, and all types of shit was going on with him. So to see all that, and now I said to myself, I'm like, look, Tiger's like, I don't know how old he is, probably like 45.
I don't think he's that old, but...
And I think he became, like, at some point, he was, like, the world's most hated man, besides OJ.
I was about to say.
OJ's still at it. Like, OJ still ain't letting that shit go. Maybe we can get into that also. But we saw him hit rock bottom, but I said to myself, like, yo, Tiger's young. Arnold Palmer, rest in peace, played golf until he was like 80.
Yeah.
Like Phil.
My dad still plays golf. Loves
right,
it.
how old is he? 63 or some shit? Or even 60.
Yeah.
Like Tiger Woods is in 60. Like I was like, this guy got a lot of life left in him. I'm like, we're going to see him come back. And I think we're going to see Tiger get back to that legend status. And you know I love the legends. And that's why as I joke around, I was fucking around when I called him the greatest cheater in history. But he really is a legend. And I think we shitted on him from his... Well, they did it, not me. They did it from something that happened inside his personal life.
It's not, and people like everybody hated Bill Clinton because he cheated on Hillary, who now everybody hates anyway. But
true,
like, what? It's none of our business.
But even look at that. Now that's a good example. We hated, not me. I was what?
I didn't care
8?
either.
I was like 8 years old, so I don't even count.
What does that have to do with us?
Right, exactly. That's my point. That he became that like. Congress was asking about like what the hell's going on here, and poor Hillary, and now like 20 years later,
like,
ask anybody, right?
Evil.
Even ask any Hillary supporter, like I don't know, like it's fucking Hillary, it's the Clintons, you never know, like and I'm like, look at this shit. Like at the time when it's convenient, you want to step into their personal life,
right?
And you know now that all bets are off, now you want to look at it objectively. I guess. I think that's the right word. I hope. I get mixed up.
I think so.
But not subjectively. I think that's whatever. But I think like with Tiger Woods, we kind of did that to him because the media had us feeling bad for his wife, and you always feel bad for the kid. Like in a divorce sense, it's always like, damn, like that's fucked up.
But like that shit happens every day. Like why are we
She
worried
got $300 million
theirs?
out of it. She all right,
yeah.
you know. So
she was just fine. She was just fine.
But,
she's going through the same shit some broke bitch down the street's going through that has nothing to show for it and 8 kids now.
That's what I think is interesting. Is
like,
that like the people in the comments section is like, open your life up a little bit. I'm sure there's things that you probably should be focused on instead of writing under DJ Envy's fucking thing like, oh well, you shouldn't have cheated.
Right.
Like, I'm sure there's some shit you're worried about.
Right.
But with Tiger Woods, I actually think he's gonna come back, and he's gonna get back to that loved figure. And I think that it's gonna like when it's way behind him, it like in history,
it broke him down.
The more time
he's gonna
goes,
build up strong.
And I think that's what's gonna make him the greatest cheater in history. Like Jay-Z is still current. I get it. they still got, but they're still together. Like 10
Right.
years from now, you can't. If God, I hope, God forbid, I hope they stay together forever. But if they broke up, we'd look back on that moment. We'd look back on 444 like and be like, oh, this is why.
Right.
And then to see him come back from it, I don't know. It hasn't happened. That's a hypothetical.
Yeah.
But Tiger Woods, we actually are seeing. Like, we're seeing maybe Beyonce and Hov, who I assume work things out. Then DJ Envy and his wife, who like maybe I don't know what
Right.
the fuck's going on with them, but they argue. He's on the radio tripping over some bullshit.
Right.
And then we see Tiger Woods and like guys like Chris Rock like separate. And these, obviously it's plenty of Hollywood shit
Right.
that's not together. I'm just using these examples. I think it'll be cool to actually see the man come back and like be back
a
to his certain elite status.
Right.
And just because of his personal life that we jumped into.
Right.
Because when women like ladies like Jennifer Aniston, when Brad Pitt broke up with her for Angelina Jolie, and I hate
world
using
was
celebrities,
in
but
it's
something everybody can
knows.
relate to, right? Because it happens, like you said, it happens every day. It's probably happening on
Right.
within 3 houses of us,
Right.
and our neighbors. But when everyone felt so terrible for Jennifer Aniston, like, oh, this is fucked up, Brad Pitt, you dog. Then he got with Angelina Jolie. They were making movies together, Mr. and Mrs.
Adopting
Smith,
kids.
adopting kids from
And then
Nigeria. I
he's
thought it was
great
cool,
again.
and Indonesia and shit. I thought it was cool. It was like, oh wow, look at this, he's the man there. And I'm like, look at this shit. I really to see the world like in that snow globe, like just pick and choose when shit's convenient and who to hate. I think is very. It's very strange. But when Jennifer Aniston like found someone else, people were like, "Oh, that's nice. Oh, look at her. Fuck him. She got her groove back." I always think it's when the women move on and meet someone else, it's like the world gets so happy for them. And then Jennifer Aniston breaks up with the next guy, and I'm looking like, yeah, she might be the damaged one. We don't know what was going on.
It's none of our business.
It's none of that. Right. It's none of our fucking business. But I get it. As far as a podcast, I don't look at it as content because I like to just relate. I like it, make it relatable between everyday people like me and you. But as far as like Us Weekly and National Enquirer and the shit that's on the front rack at CVS, I guess it's like news for them to just make a victim out of something. But I think it's cool when the man gets to come back and, or even I guess both parties get to come back and just
recreate themselves.
yeah,
instead
right.
of being-
Be back in a good light and get back to what they do, which leads me to the other end of it, like the cheatee. I don't know if that I just made that's a podcast word. I don't know if that's a, but like the person who did the cheating.
Okay.
I mean, excuse me, the person who they
cheated
with.
Okay.
I think that's like whatever happens to them. Like I feel like no one ever, because in relationships, I feel like you can't blame that person.
Can't.
Like I never would think it was fair. Like I remember, you know, a girl I was with was calling the girl I cheated with. I'm like, the fuck you calling her for? Like,
Right.
She didn't know you.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
She didn't.
Now, if it's your best friend, that's one thing.
Nah, that's a
your
different
sister,
circumstance.
your
If it's-
cousin,
if it's
somebody you know.
That's another thing
Somebody
I
that
don't
you don't
understand.
know.
That's what I don't understand. Like, out of all the women in the world, like, why would you cheat with your girl's sister?
Right.
Like, that's why I think Jerry Springer's trash to me, and it's fucking ridiculous and scripted, and like, or like Maury, I slept with 3 men, his cousin, his uncle, and it, like, how? Bitch, go outside. There's plenty of shit you could do. Like that's what. Yeah, like I feel like in those examples is when we hear from like the person who, like the other end of it. Like
But they deserve it.
But there, yeah.
They deserve some blame. But like that's just the whole like that has to be really hard to go through, being the one that is cheated on, because then you're faced with two people who betrayed you that you knew.
Sure.
But otherwise, if you don't know the person, then you can't blame that person. You need to blame the person you're with, because that person didn't make you any promises or false hopes or.
That's when you have to leave. That's when you got to leave your family. Like, how do you go back to Thanksgiving? That doesn't ruin it forever. Like, I think that would be very tricky.
I couldn't.
But it got me thinking. It got me thinking about like Adele, actually, specifically. Like, I feel like Adele is like the annoying ex that won't let shit go. Like Adele, because I love Adele. I think about her music, and I'm like, you know, for an ex, she keep fucking with him. Like, I started to think about specifically this song. This shit is up to 2.2 billion views on YouTube. That is
Better be.
fucking.
When it came out, it was like,
But I didn't realize that is a October 2015. I feel like that's a staggering number. But if you go back and listen to this song and listen to the content, where is this lady? There she is. I guess I fucked it up. I'm a terrible DJ. I need the turntables. Right there. No, it's me. Why? If you really like, I really like. See, this speaks for a lot of people.
it does.
You gotta watch this lady. I think that's a part of it. Also, is like the a part of cheating is the pressure of the familiar. Because I think a lot of people go back and cheat with their ex.
Oh,
it doesn't always have
yeah,
to be
yeah.
someone new.
Yeah.
It could be like that comfort, and maybe that person did know you better.
Right.
Like maybe that person. Right here, I'm telling you, I could do this shit all day. I'm minding your business.
Right.
And
you're happy, so hey, come back to me. Oh no.
Right there. Like that shit, I really started thinking about. I'm like, men get a lot of blame, and the person who cheated get a lot of blame. And I'm not making a case, like I said, I'm not making a case for cheaters. I'm just speaking on
people that are still caught up over their ex. Like they're dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if she leaves you voicemails.
Right.
Like, I know you're with someone else, but I just want to talk and hash things out. Like,
right.
Why?
I know you're
Don't
married,
fucking
but
call
how
here no
are
more.
you? Like,
hello? Don't fucking call here. Stop fucking calling here, Adele. You stop fucking with me, Adele. You're always fucking with me. But no, for real. Like, that puts a lot of like pressure on. Because like you're hello. I heard you're married now. Like if you're married and you're not, things may be not going peachy clean. Even if they are going, even if they that right there is what fucks things up.
Yeah, it could absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's what.
Then it gets somebody thinking,
you, right.
and then and then if you respond to them,
yeah, that's where it's very tricky. Because no, we don't play those X games. Like that shit is. It's very.
Because there's what for what.
And see, that's
why
where
are you calling?
That's where it's different. Where people, like with our mindset, who are we mentally when we can mentally check out and then we break it off. Other people, after a certain amount of fucking that toxic cycle, they still would rinse cycle that motherfucker one more time. Yep. Like, maybe we're different now. Like maybe I was young and I was immature.
Yes.
Maybe things are so they don't look at it like. There's nothing left to be taken. Everything we've sucked the life out of that. It's nothing left. They look at it like, maybe
there was some good.
And I never really understood how people could break up for like 10 years and then get back together. Nope. I'm not saying it could never happen.
Or divorce and then get remarried.
I have a cousin.
My grandmother did that.
Really? That's crazy. How long were they together?
I have no idea.
No? I think my cousin... Yeah, you know what's crazy? I'd use that example, but I think my cousin didn't see the guy for like 10 years. And they got back together. They both had like separate kids. And then got back together and had kids together. And I'm like, God bless you guys. I don't know. That's a lot of pressure. Like, that's a lot of outside influence, I'll say. But, more power to you.
Yeah.
And speaking of getting old things back... Snapchat just recently did some bullshit with Rihanna and Chris Brown, and what? Like
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna, because I'm not even gonna make the joke and say Chris Brown was the greatest, whatever, because I don't mean it that way. But Chris Brown did.
I was gonna say that
hit
earlier,
rock bottom.
actually, when you said something about Tiger. Like Chris Brown came way back.
Oh, way back. He actually came back like following that. Like he came back
shortly
when
after.
Deuces came out. I'm like. All right, he got one here. I'm like, I don't know if America still hates him, but they're not gonna be able to fight this one. But he did, and we watched the documentary together when he explained a lot of it. But even at the time, and I'm not that's why domestic violence is tricky. Like
Right.
I don't want that smoke with the domestic violence community. But I think at the time I was like, man, you think Rihanna was in that car? Like,
Just sitting
what
there.
are you doing, Christopher? Why are you like? Oh, I don't know why this happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure the shit was.
Listen to her music.
Even if you didn't, I would be like if you went through my phone, whatever I forget what happened with them. Like, oh no, but yeah, that was one of the things.
But
there you go.
he was like, I wasn't even doing anything.
No, but that's what. Now that I think about the story that we saw in the documentary, he did that. Like, he lied about it at first and didn't come clean.
Right.
And that same window of when you
Right.
got when you like, all
Right.
right, look, I told you no,
Right.
but I really care about you and I want to be
Right.
honest with you.
Right.
He was long past
Yep,
that window.
past it.
So when she
Her
seen that,
trust
she's
was
like,
gone.
motherfucker. So I'm sure, like, if you went through my
Yeah.
phone and was like, motherfucker.
After
You wouldn't. You're a very nice woman. You're one of the nicest people I know. I'm sure you wouldn't be in the car like, well, you know, Bo, I'm pretty upset. Like, I'm sure, like, I'm like, yo, chill. You're gonna make us crash. Like, yo. So I wasn't. I never was like, damn. I mean, I was like, damn. Like, I saw the picture, like, bro, come on. Man.
Yeah.
You didn't have to punch her in the eye. Like, just give it a shake. Like, yo, you need to chill. I'm about to crash the car. Like, you got to shake the shoulder, and that's it, bro. After that, you got that window. I mean, like, yo, you need to fucking chill, and then it's over. You know what I'm saying? But at no point did I think it was just squeaky clean. But they got over it, and
Right.
I was actually happy when I saw. I never was like, oh, I want to see them get back together. Like,
Right,
I don't
no,
know them.
that's
I wasn't there.
probably toxic.
I'm not even gonna say it's
But,
probably
yeah.
toxic, but I wouldn't suggest it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Feel like
But I
you
was
might
cool.
go
Like
back.
once I saw them like do a song together, the
Right.
birthday cake remix,
Right.
I was like, you know what?
That's
good for
good.
them.
Good, right.
I'm like, I don't care if they don't even text, but as long as they could get that off, even if
Right.
they could still do music together, which we enjoy. That's good that they're both past it in their lives to
right.
just be on. They could be at the same award shows.
Right.
I don't want to see them give out an award together, but they could be in the same atmosphere. I love that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But recently, and I only bring it up because I feel like the world doesn't let it go. Like,
No.
they passed it, but Snapchat. I'm not. I don't know if it was an actual Snapchat filter or actual Snapchat ad, but Snapchat put up like some options on one of those polls, like hit left to punch Rihanna, hit right to smack Chris Brown. And obviously that's trash. Like, I don't like who thought
Yeah.
that was funny. Like, who
Right.
green lighted that
Right.
to be like, oh, this is brilliant. Like, no.
No.
Especially now. Like, I don't even
No.
want to joke about it on the podcast because I don't stand behind. Like, I don't
Right.
think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who did that. Like, I don't know who does these things. Oh, now that I say it, maybe they were trying that H&M formula or that Kardashian formula of like do some crazy shit. Let social media go crazy with it, and it'll be free social media outrage promotion. I'm glad it backfired, and Rihanna had some words about it. Like, Kylie bodied them.
I was
a
just
couple
about to
weeks
say
ago.
that
Right.
was what I was gonna say.
Right. Kylie bodied them a couple weeks ago. Like, who the fuck still uses Snapchat to say lost money? And I guess this was a desperate plea
Probably.
to. I don't know, because it doesn't. Shit like this don't make sense to me. Like, I'm one man with a podcast, and I wouldn't even do no dumb shit like that.
No.
I'm sure you guys got a committee. You guys got a fucking
Something.
You had an IPO, like motherfuckers.
Somebody's
You know what I'm
fired.
saying? I actually got to sell my Snapchat shares. I actually own some shares of Snapchat. I got to sell. I
Oh,
probably
yeah.
should have sold them when I heard that, but
Probably should
you
have
know
sold
me.
it, but when Kylie.
That's when Kylie did it and it dipped. I was like, all right, we got to hold on to this because they didn't violate to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, this is a good time to maybe grab some more. I didn't
Okay.
do it, but now this is like, nah, I kind of hope
See,
you.
I downloaded Snapchat and I think I downloaded Snapchat like 3 times and I've deleted it every single. I think I did one snap.
I'm gonna tell you, to me, Snapchat was for cheaters.
Yeah, like what? I
It's
don't
like,
understand.
first
Like,
of
why am I
all-
doing a video that's gonna delete?
Right. Even the words, like I'm not saying I'm forgetful, but because my memory is pretty good, but like
I want to.
I smoke some pot sometimes. I may have said some shit and you respond in the morning. Now
Right.
I'm like, wait, what happened? Like,
Right. Yeah.
Where were we?
Right.
So that was my whole part of it. Is like, wait, this shit disappears. Like, that's annoying to me.
Right.
Like, I don't even remember what the fuck I said. What did I say? Or like, what video did I send you 2 weeks ago that you're saying
Right.
LOL to? Like,
Right.
you lost me. So it was like nothing I say I wanted to disappear. So Snapchat, it was already 50-50
It's
with
very
me. So
weird.
I get that you didn't. Maybe we missed the window, like age-wise, on shit that we want to disappear. But I'm with you. But I think that maybe Snapchat tried to do some bullshit.
Probably.
Whatever.
You're probably right.
Anyway, Snapchat lost another like $800 million or some shit. And I was like, you know, good for you. I'm glad you guys. I'm glad you like they tried to take advantage of people's personal lives and make a joke out of it, and I'm glad that it had that effect. It
backfired.
Like, it makes me like, all right, good. There is some motherfuckers in the world that there is still boundaries, because social media fucking scares me sometimes. The world scares me sometimes.
Although everybody's still mad about that, so it was probably just a bad joke anyway. Like it's too soon. I think it's always going to be too soon.
That's why
for
I think.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no domestic violence. There's no punch Chris Brown. It's like anything.
No. Yeah.
You could have been hit Rihanna with a pie.
Right.
Pour a bucket of water on Chris Brown's head. It would have been weird. It would have been weird, but it wouldn't have been out of line.
Yeah,
like,
that would have been
punch Rihanna. Like that's out of line. So I'm glad that happened.
Yeah.
And which now that I'm on the subject of social media, because I'm done with that. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Cardi B. Cardi got pregnant. We upset. I saw that.
I don't know that she's pregnant.
Really?
Like, I thought she was. I showed you the picture, and I was like, she's looking a little pregnant. And you were just like, she's eating steak every night.
Facts. That way you so like you were like, look, she looks like she's gaining weight. I'm like, she's rich now. You think she eats salmon twice a day? She probably had lamb chops.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like,
and I follow her on Instagram, and she shows her eating, and she'd rather have fried shit. So I was like, okay, well, maybe that is true. You know, I'd probably be eating good too. And well, I do eat good.
I was gonna say, shit, we eat good now. That's why I knew. I'm like, no, I eat good now.
I eat good
like,
now.
I get it. Trust me, shit. If
and that's why I was like, oh yeah, you're right.
That's a fact.
But like, you told me that she was pregnant, and I was like, what? And then I'm going back and like some of the clothes that she has now, like it looks like a little suspect, like she's hiding something. But I saw a live video, unless, like you said, it's just a previous live video.
A pump fake. It could be a pump fake. You never know.
She looked like she was skinny.
That's why you don't know, but she could play off of it and just spring a baby on us.
Yeah.
But and I bring it to backtrack a little bit. I saw that, you know, how people get all their fucking news from Twitter.
Yeah.
I saw. You go find my wife's Twitter, I'll kill you. But I saw like people were like, "Damn, Cardi, like how could you get pregnant?" Or like, and I was like, "It's her personal life." Like I really saw, and like people were like, "Damn, we're never gonna get that album." And I was like, "Damn, the world, like what is with the world?" Like even if I thought it was a bad career move, which would be none of my business in the first place, I wouldn't say it. Like who am I to at Cardi B and say, "What were you thinking?" Like.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? This is what it's come to?
But that's how everybody feels. Like, when people see my tattoos, they're like, why would you do that?
Like, because it's my skin,
because
motherfucker.
I wanted to.
That shit is, I think it's very intruding. And I'm not even trying to be politically correct, because I'm sitting here talking about other people's lives. But at the end, I'm just, like I said, I try to break it down for regular conversation that everyone else can relate to. But at the end of it all, I let it go. Like, I don't sit here with an opinion and be like, she's fucking ridiculous. Like, no, I don't.
Commenting on her
page.
Like,
I don't care. Like, if you guys knew my personal life more, I'd give you real examples. And I wouldn't talk about any of these motherfuckers. I really don't care. But I didn't. Do you think it's as a musician or as an artist? Because you follow her, and I think that was cool. And very early in Cardi's, like when she put out that first mixtape, I was like, I think this is crazy as an Instagram. I'm not crazy. I think this is a stretch as a chick from Instagram, but she's not bad. And then I heard her music, and I'm like, I heard more music, and I was like, I remember being like early, like, nah, this might work.
I remember you saying she annoyed me in the beginning. She was very loud.
I was like, she's from the Bronx,
and I'm like, she needs to be quiet a little bit. And I like her now. She toned down a little bit, and
I didn't even feel like she should tone down.
I feel like she matured. I don't feel like she changed herself, because she still said, like the other day, like playing with his balls.
I thought that was, I love her for that. Like, I'm gonna go play with his balls. I was like, yo, Cardi's the best, because there's women out there that were like,
but like she's still herself. She just is a little like she's just more mature.
Right. But do you think it was a bad move? I'm jumping back ahead. Like, so I saw her grow, and I saw that she has an album. She had #1 song in the country for a while. She's on tour.
Songs
she's
all
on
over the
fucking
chart.
I don't know, Ellen DeGeneres in the morning. She's on a run.
Yeah.
Think it'd be a bad time to get pregnant? Like, not saying her specifically, but as an artist at that point in her in their career.
No, I think. I mean, she can do whatever she wants to do.
But I'm just saying in general.
Like seeing her on Instagram, she seemed like she's always talking about how tired she is. Like maybe she needs a break, and then she can come back even stronger. You know, like maybe she's not, because she seems like a workhorse. Like she's like me. She'll work and work and work and work and work and work and work. And she's tired. I'm tired. You know, like, and I get that. And she's probably not going to stop unless she has to. Like, I see that in her. Like, she's not going to take a break unless she gets something that says, like, hey, you have to sit down for a minute. So maybe it'll be good for her. Like, I don't think it's going to stop her. I don't think it's going to, like, unmotivate her and then she's just going to fall off. Like, I think she'll get a nice break and then she'll do it, like, regular after that. Maybe not so hardcore.
But see, this is where it gets tricky, and I will speak from a fan standpoint of Cardi B. That I don't want it when Cardi says like the shit on Instagram, and she was like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna go," and pause. She was like, "I'm gonna see my man and play with his balls."
Right.
And I was like, "Yo, she's the best for that." But at the same now, if she had like a 4-year-old, I would have thought that was weird. Like that's why I say now that if she does have a baby, certain like that's like, and I talked about it on our episode 33, like that's what with Nicki Minaj, like when she first came on the scene, she talked about how what her pussy was. I was like, this is different. I can fuck with this. Like it was like, oh, I'm all right. She said it, but then after 10 years, I don't want to hear about how wet your pussy. Like your pussy is juicy. I get it. It's still juicy. I'm glad that's awesome for you. I want to hear that shit now, my nigga.
Right.
Like,
okay.
No, it's over for that. So at the same time, I'm like,
But maybe she'll just mature more, and then
that's why I say
an artist.
And I thought when I saw people were like, she can't get pregnant right now. She's gonna be on tour and all the other shit. And I was like, yo, she's using that's a good formula. Shit, I'd be curious about like if like look at Blue Ivy and all like the celebrity babies.
You could take the baby with you and
that's
do
what
it
I was
anyway.
gonna say.
Like you can
little
have a
Assad
nanny
Khaled
with you.
Little Assad Khaled is like he's at award shows. Little Assad Khaled is on stage, and I was like, you know what? It's cool. I think it spreads a good message because in music, well, not music. I don't listen to old music anymore. And rap specifically, all the bullshit like playing with his ball. She talking about playing with a man's balls. And how I think that's awesome. It's like, you know what? If she like became like a mom role and had a baby with her all the time, like how Khaled has his baby with her, I think that's just as cool. I think that's way cooler than the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's like if she was to have Blue Ivy, Hov put her on the album. Yeah, I think that's ill. I'm like, wow, that's cool. So I think it should be more of that family message and more of that growth message. Right. And if this is how our life, she's like 24, 25. Yeah. More power to her. Like it's not like, oh, you gotta wait till 35. Like, oh, she should let her career blossom. Like whatever money she made now, if she decides by the March 31st that she's done with this shit, she's like, you know what? Actually, I just want to be a mom, and I'm gonna move to fucking Nebraska, and live there and never do this shit again.
The rest of my money.
Yeah, off what I made off. Cardi got upset. Knock yourself out. More power to you. So I'm like, I take it with the flow. But as far as an artist, I will say, I mean, as far as a fan, I can't. Maybe she'll have some ill shit that I can't deny. Yeah. Like maybe some shit will be out there, and I'm like, oh, this shit is a win. This is a smash. But I think it would be weird after a while. Like I want to see.
If she stayed the same.
Right. I do want to see that growth. So I'm like, maybe she would have tried to drag this out for too long, like Nicki did. Right. Or like, I won't even just use her. I shouldn't. It's not even fair to just put her in that female bracket.
Like most everybody does.
Like most everybody does, because even some of my favorite rappers from 10 years ago are not the same now.
You're like, okay. And
I'm like, all right, bro, like you still shooting guns. You should probably go inside. Like you should go home with your kids. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the timing will be good, and like, because I played Hov also. Like it is cool to see him. Remember when he didn't want to admit they were married, and they didn't want to admit it was bad for your career and all that other shit. And I'm like, I used to think at the time, like, that's trash. If I had a wife, she'd be with me all the time. And that's why like guys like Kevin Gates I gravitate towards, because he does his interviews, if he points in the corner, his wife is there. And I always respected that. And I'm like, yo, it's cool to see that growth. Like look at Gucci. It's cool, it's awesome to see that growth. So when, you know, like when these artists and things happen in their real life, I'm never gonna want to time out, or I'm never gonna want to be like, whoa, no, they can't do this. I want shit to stay the same. Like I'm like, wow, you know, it'll be good timing. It'll be a good message to send. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important. Growth period. Yes, is important. You know what I'm saying? with is as far as relationships, sure, but as far as an individual, and we all should be out there trying to.
And the people around you, like sometimes you grow apart from people.
Yeah.
And if you keep people around you that you shouldn't, it holds you back.
It's the same thing like we talked about earlier with relationships, though.
Yeah.
Some people feel like, like the same way. Oh, we've been together. Like, oh, I've been friends with this person for 15 years. I really feel like, man, if you met me 5 years ago, and not to gas it, but you open the paper and be like, oh shit, yeah, I know this dude. I used to. No, you don't, my G. Because that shit that we're talking about, the dates are on there. You know what I'm saying? I'm a different. Or women, they'll be like, oh yeah, he was. Nah, my G. And that's why I joke about it, but I'm actually dead ass serious. Like, I don't even know, like, exes. Why bring up exes for what? Like, I'm a different person. I've grown. So many things have happened in my life that I'm really not the same person. So that guy you may have met, it's long gone and it's long evolved. And I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm not.
But we're constantly growing and
but I feel like I'm headed in the right direction. That shit that when I talk about these things, and when I'm on the podcast talking about it, it's so people can take it and take something from it. Right. Like, because that's how I like to learn.
And that's how I feel.
Through the other motherfuckers' mistakes. Like, if I found out you did some bullshit and it comes up to me, I'll be like, I heard about this and they did some bullshit. You
learn from your own mistakes too, but...
Oh, no, those are the ones that stick with you forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why...
But yeah, we can see from... We're not closed-minded. Some people are closed-minded and they don't think they can learn from anybody else. And that's dangerous too.
Why do you think that is? Like, why? I think it's the people that haven't.
It's like ego, maybe.
Right. That's what I was going to say. They haven't come to terms with it.
Like the know-it-all that I told you about earlier. Like, he seems confident, but he's a know-it-all and he knows nothing. Like, he's like fake confident, but he probably is from like a lack of self-confidence, but it's like fake. What my parents told me about, like, in high school and stuff, like, the people that you think are going to go on in life are not going to go on in life.
That shit is crazy to develop. Yeah,
like
if I think about
the popular people are going to be
I'm like, nah, pops, this guy's cool. Like, and now to be older and like you scroll past them on your Facebook feed and you're like, damn, bro, like. Yeah. Like, what's that shit? In high school, you was the man. The fuck happened to you? So, but see, those are people that may want things to say the same. And I can't speak for everyone's situation on the other end. Like, when I speak for celebrities, I can't look at someone like and feel like they're beneath me because they could actually be happy. Right. But some shit I see that I don't think there's too much happiness in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, some shit I see, I'm like, it's
rough.
Like, you should probably try something new, You should probably go to a new place or something, because this shit don't seem like it's working out for you. And you know what's crazy about that also? One of the people that I was talking to about the article, he was talking about, like, cheating on his girl, and I'm like, and I said it to him. I'm like, did you read it? He was like, nah, I'm gonna check it out online. And I'm like, oh yeah, so you didn't read it, because I'm thinking, like, you homeless, but you don't realize it. Like, you would get out away from your girl from having to sleep in the driveway or in the front seat of your car. You know what I'm saying? I was like, see, that shit is a game, and reality just hasn't hit you yet. And I think that it's that same concept of like I don't see that. I wouldn't see that and be like, wow, he used to be the man. So I would have stayed. Like, that used to be the man. Like, right. No, you're not reading it. Because I really asked him. I was like, did you read it? Like, you just saw cheating and tweeting. You didn't read the shit. Like, it's not.
You're like, oh yeah, he cheats too.
Yeah. He looked at it like justifying like his acting. Like, nah, bro. Because a lot of motherfuckers, like I said, don't realize they're homeless. Like, they could be like, nah, what you mean? I go to my girl's house every night. Like, my point is, if she tell your ass don't come here, you gonna be like, you probably should be good to her, bro. Right, like, right. That formula you doing, you should probably get it together. I don't know what to tell you, bro. But that's the thing about it, where we're talking about learning from other people's mistakes and the ones that stick with you. The most of the ones you've been through yourself. Like, sometimes you got to be in it to really look around. You got to be in it to accept things the way they are. And I'm glad that I've accepted things the way they are, and it's for the better. And
But we don't just accept things the way they are. Either.
I mean, yeah, we do. If you think about it, like that's how we grow from it. Like we accept a dead horse. Like we see, like, all right, we see what doesn't work.
But we also like we communicate about it too.
Right.
You know, like we communicate it.
Right. We're saying the same.
But
thing
we may
ways.
not. I see what you're saying though.
Right.
Like we may not see eye to eye, but I try to see your side, you try to see mine, and then we move on from there.
And then we do what I want to do anyway.
Right.
Hey, listen, man. Listeners, I appreciate you guys listening. I'm glad we're to the year mark of this episode. There's plenty more to go. But most importantly, I'm glad to have you along for this journey. I appreciate you.
Anytime.
And I love you. I want you to know that.
I love you.
And listeners, I want you all. I love you guys too, especially my subscribers. Have a day you deserve.
Watch yourself.
Oh, shit. Maybe we shouldn't end this. Let's get more back into some jealous rages. Tell me more. What do we have here? Nothing? Okay. Well, no groupie love. That's out.
None.
I love you all. Have a day you deserve. Oh, shit. Did I?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Thank you. I tried. Stole it from YouTube.